Hey guys, welcome back to lesson 21 of our electric blues course. Dan from YGA here, and today we're going to carry on this concept of knowing how to change keys very quickly and importing the licks or the rhythms, the ideas that you've learnt into any key. Okay, and today we're just going to talk about the blues scale because we've now done 3 lessons worth of work in terms of transposing that rhythm and the 12 bar using either a quick change or a normal change, and we've got various different kind of upbeat tempos to kind of work with, but now let's just talk about the blues scale, the thing we learned originally in unit 1, the idea of the minor pentatonic with the flat 5 and how we can quickly find that and work with that in any key. So pick up the guitar and let's get started. Hey guys, so if you're just tuning in, then do remember that you can head on over to the website to get all of the interactive tab, the fretboard diagrams, and the full write-ups for every single lesson. It looks great on the mobile, on the desktop, however you're viewing it. Head over there and we'll put the links in the description and in this video. Also, please do like and subscribe to this video if you're enjoying it so far and if you're enjoying the course, as well as leave us a comment. We make sure we get back to every single comment that you guys leave. Okay, so this concept is relatively simple, but something that I feel is really worth going through because I think it can actually throw a lot of people off. Okay, in my experience, it's something that once you have it and once it's clicked, it's like, wow, this is sick. Why did I not think of this before? But until you have, it's something that we should go over just to be sure, okay? So we've done this work whereby we now know that no matter what key comes up, I can quickly find a 12-bar blues. I can go through either a quick change or a normal change, 12-bar blues using my dominant 7th chords. I can use it with cage chords, or I can use those little triad versions that I've been using in this last unit. I've got loads of options, basically. I can even throw in a turnaround. Very good. So the pentatonic and the blues scale lends really beautifully to riffing as well. So not only just soloing, but also actually doing riffs. And we know that, we've got pentatonic riffs like Born Under a Bad Sign, or with the pentatonic, you've got your classic. There's just so many in the realm of blues where we've used that blues scale or that pentatonic. So it's really important to be able to do the exact same thing and find it whether you're on the E string or the A string. That's what I'm getting at here. So I think when it comes to the E string, we're all pretty kind of sound and sorted with that, I would think. But let's just go through it. So, if I throw a key at you like B, and I've got a really cool kind of quick change going on, and you wanted to lay down a lead line or a riff, and you're in B, and you want to find the B minor pentatonic, the B blues scale, well, of course, all you need to do in that instance is come to the root note on the E string, and play your shape 1. Okay, and from there you can add in your flat 5th, root, flat 3rd, 4th, flat 5th, 5th, then the flat 7, the root, flat 3rd, 4th, flat 5th, 5th, flat 7, root. And you can find your way through like a cool little riff or something there. And the really cool thing with that is you can play over the whole track with just that scale, can't you? So like if I just kind of come to my looper here and I'll just lay down that quick track, so in B, so 1, 2, 3, I'm deliberately doing it quite fast. Let's have the... And then the 5. And I'm gonna go... Okay, I can take that B and play my blues scale across. Across the whole thing. I could even try and find a riff over that. So like, okay, so we get the gist of that, I think. So we can find that scale really easily, okay? So nice and simple, just literally find the root on the E string and you've got your shape 1 minor pentatonic plus the addition of the flat 5. Now, what happens when we want to start from the A string? Now there's 2 good examples here of when that might happen. One is quite literally when you're kind of coming back to that idea of doing the quick change, but you're in a key where you don't want to be right up here, okay? So for example, let's kind of get rid of that key there, okay? We might be in the key of E. So that was the example that we used, wasn't it? And we started here instead, okay? We used our 4 chord there and our 5 chord here, okay? And in that instance, yes, of course, we could. We could come up to the 12th fret and find our box 1 and box 1 pentatonic, exactly as we've just done. But I want us to have more options, more control than that, and we will eventually be able to do this across the whole fretboard with all 5 shapes, but I think this is a really good start. So taking the A string root note, we need to know that from that root note there, what minor pentatonic is here? Shape 4, okay? Hopefully some of you guys were shouting that at the screen. It is shape 4. So I know that if that quick change blues comes up, or that blues comes up, where my key is kind of sitting a little neater in the middle, I don't want to come straight up to the, I want to kind of sit in the middle of the park a little bit more. I've got that option. I can come to my box 4 all the time from this root note. These are just simple mechanisms which give us our starting block, okay guys? So everything that you're learning here is all about like a little shortcut just to find your way quickly as possible in like a jam situation or backing track. And then you can kind of start kind of expanding from there. So for example, from there, if you know how to get into your box 3, you can go into it, or box 5, which is something I'm sure you're kind of developing, and we certainly did a lot of that with the first solo. So this is just your kind of airport. Think of it as kind of where you're landing very quickly, and from there you can get cab, trains, buses all around the city. Right. We love that. So we can also remember add the blues note there. Root, flat 3rd, 4th, flat 5, 5, flat 7, root, flat 3rd, 4, flat 5, 5, flat 7. Okay, so we've been through that, but that's that, okay? So once again, if I have that quick change on, chord. The more times you do this, it just becomes embedded in your soul. You will not be able to get it wrong. And you'll instantly hear if someone does. I didn't do the turnaround there because I was talking and I wasn't thinking. So, same gist though. Right, over that then. So I've come to the E. Okay, and you can jam over that all day long. So that is, how we find that, okay? And the second reason you would want to do that is, say for example, and this is a very common thing in the blues, if you are playing a blues more based around a riff, like for example, the original track that we learnt in Unit 1, which was based around a really cool little riff. Okay? And when you want to move that to the 4 chord and the 5 chord, rather than jumping up and down the neck as we did, we've now got this option to actually just move it in the same way. Okay? And let me show you. So for example, if we came to a totally different key, A, the key of A, And I created a really cool little riff, and I'm just going to do something on the spot here, so bear with me. And I created a really cool little riff using the blues scale. So I'm going to go... How about that? I think I could do better than that. Let's try something a bit more aggressive. Oh, I don't know. What do we think? It's got a bit of a Born Under a Bad Sign vibe. Let's go for... This one will be good for demonstration purposes. Okay, so that's my riff. So just literally just running through that pentatonic box. Okay. Now when it comes to then moving, typically what happens when you write a riff in a 12 bar like that, you move it through the changes. So when we got to the 4 chord, we moved the riff up to the 4 chord. So previously what we would have had to do is find the 4 chord, which is D, way up here. Sorry. And the 5 chord way up here. But we could do it a lot easier than that. That's quite, if you're like, for example, if you're singing and playing at the same time, that's hard work, you know, doing that, moving all those changes. Now what we can do with our new knowledge is we can just drop down, just as we would have done with our rhythm, to the 4 chord there, and know that this is pentatonic box 4. Or blues scale box 4. And we can transpose it like that. Okay. And then for the 5 chord, 1, 4, 5. Or whatever you choose to do at the end. So that is a beautiful way and a more, I'd say a more logical way to kind of play through that kind of 12 bar vibe. So we utilize the idea that on the A string, we've got this box 4 shape, okay? And equally guys, last thing, okay, is that if you then want to do it in reverse, so let's say you have the key of E and you're doing it here. And then you want to come down to the 4 chord, we use that same concept that we learned for the chords. So we go down 1 string and back 2 frets to find the 4 chord. So there's the 1, there's the 4 chord. And we know that that is box 1. Anything from the E string is box 1. Then back up to box 4. Then when I go to the 5 chord, box 1. Okay, so we'll just play that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four chord. 1 chord. 2 bars, 5 chord, and then you can go, I'm in E, so I'm going to use my E, box 4 of the pentatonic. Into box 5 if you know it, into box 1, and so on, okay? So, there you have it guys. We can just take our pentatonic shapes, okay, and the blues scale, and again, in the same easy way, as long as you can find the root note on the E or the A string, you've got all these options now. You're basically dividing the fretboard so that you don't always have to rely on the fact that you have to do it from the E string. You know, it has to be, you know, you've got no choice because that's all you know. Now you can either do it from the E string or the A string. You can play through a 12 bar, using the 7th chords. You can play through like a bluesy scale riff, or even find your bluesy scale lead parts on either the E or the A string root notes, okay? So hopefully that's really helping. We've got one more lesson dealing with this stuff. It should just start to just be sinking in now. Even if you can't physically do it, your fingers are not physically moving through it, it's all about up here and just learning it there first, and then the fingers will catch up. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We do our absolute best to answer every single comment. If you've got questions, here is the place to write them so that we can get back to you and really help you out with this stuff. If you want to carry on with this course and you're loving it, then you can find the next lesson right here, and you can start the whole thing. The whole playlist is here on YouTube as well. So click one of those 2 links and I'll see you in the next lesson.